So, you have not had such a long career in end user organisations, have you? When you've done a bit of work in them. Have you ever had somebody come up and throw a contract on your desk and say, renew this, and you think, where the hell did that contract come from?
I think when I stood in for you that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bound to have happened
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
So this contract suddenly comes out of left field. Where did that come from? It's an orphan. It's got no obvious parents, no obvious parentage. So what do you do with it?
Yes, so we run it through the orphan data process. What we do. Yay!
That's where we were
Nicely cued. Nicely cued. Yes.
So when you're a SAM manager, stuff happens and stuff lands on your table, on your desk, and you think, my goodness, where on earth has this come from? And I think there's a couple of categories of orphan data, and as a SAM manager, the one that constantly made me tear my hair out was these contract renewals that would just land on my desk, and I'd be like, where have they come from? But what are some other types of orphan data that you might encounter?
So installation data, and
that your SAM suite's not recognising.
Yes, and also recognition data too. So you could have put something that's whizzy bang new onto the IT estate, and the SAM suite, item suite, whatever you're using for potentially compliance reports or reporting, doesn't recognise.
Yeah.
And that's my personal driver for this given process, is to make sure that whatever you put into whatever tool you have, that the relationships are there between the respective entities that go into the tool.
And you can see who is the systems analyst person and who is the procurement person, can't you?
I think so.
So fundamentally what this process is doing is it's taking this data that has no home and putting it into the right place within the management system, so that from this point forward our processes will apply to that piece of data.
Yeah.
So it's just taking that piece of data, thinking about where it should be, and then almost just, you know what I have in my head?
Go on.
So I don't know if you ever worked as a checkout chick in a supermarket. That was my first job, as a checkout chick in Coles in Australia.
Spookily enough, yes, I have.
So did you have, for cash, when your cash drawer filled up, you're a couple of years older than me, so you might not have had this level of sophistication.
Go on.
When the cash drawer filled up, you would do your cash return, and when I first started, the ladies would come around with a trolley and you'd give them the cash. You'd sort of bag the cash up and give it to them, and then they'd go on to the next checkout. But after I'd done it for about 6 months, they introduced this pneumatic system, and I'd take the cash and I would put it in this container, this sort of cylinder, and I close the cylinder off, and then there would be this machine. It wasn't really a machine, it was just like this tube, and I'd stick the thing up the tube, and it would go, and it would just go, and it would go up to the cash office, and the ladies in the cash office would count all the money. It's a bit like that. So what you're doing is you're trying to find this bit of data, stick it in the tube, and put it in the right pneumatic tube so that off it goes to the right place, and then from then on it's just in the standard pipe.
Yeah,
that it should be in.
Mine was more like a Hogwarts experience.
Oh, yeah,
the bankers, the bankers with the grills and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, not really. No, we.
When you were a checkout.
Yeah.
So you didn't have the ladies with the trolley, the cash drawer coming
actually, what we did have was somebody walking around with I don't know if mobile safe is quite the right thing, but it was a strong box on wheels basically, and two burly dudes just sort of periodically visiting in and picking up the money.
Right.
It never got, at least when I was there, it never got to the point where you're putting money in a tube and scooting it up.
We have the tube, and these days nobody has any money, so you don't even have the tube.
Well, this is the drive towards
digitalisation.
The card-based society. Yes, yeah, absolutely. So because you can move money, but it's cheaper to move electronic money than it is physical. So yeah.
So what are the sorts of processes that will cause orphan data?
So you're going to have entitlement importation. So you're bringing in your contract, your licenses, or you're not. Your inventory importation.
Yep.
There's going to be things like third level metrics as well. So those length of runway, millions of barrel produced in a day, number of financial transactions that a given piece of software actually oversees. Those things as well need systematic capturing.
Yeah.
so that when you seek to drive them together against other data in support of whatever reports you're producing, the data is there, or the other bit of data that you have managed to get in is not sat there like a spare part.
Yeah. And the software data verification process can often throw up orphans, as can the license compliance, audit and validation. And then basically any process that manipulates data will lead out of this process because we've put our orphan data into the right process.
Yes.
That's the whole point of this process. It's almost like an exchange. It's a data exchange. Here's some sad little orphan datas and we're giving them a home.
Yeah, exactly.
And the processes that lead out of that are the home.
We're giving them a family. There you go, you see.
Yes.
That's what it is. We're giving them a family.
Exactly. So, it's a happy process. Anything else around the orphan data process?
No, you just got to keep vigilant because that's what's going to drive you up the curve.
Yeah.
In terms of maturity and performance as well. And if somebody says, "What have you done for me lately?" Well, I can say I've done this.
Yeah.
I've improved. I've given perspective or view of the IT estate.
And be happy when you receive a contract on your desk and you've got no idea what it is because you're giving that contract a home.
Yes. Yeah, on whoever's desk you land it on. The person whose desk it is might not be so happy, but what can you do?
It has a home. Be glad and happy. Right, that's it.
We're done. All right. Till next month.